So now I'm not holding anything back.
Well, since you put it that way, Optimus. It's only
Greetings, people of YouTube. I'm Screaming Star, and wait a minute, why am I in this sort of setup? Anyways, today I'm reviewing the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class Cybertron universe STARSCREAM. This will be my third STARSCREAM review, but perhaps the most special. You'll see why later. I mean, it's not like this video is made to celebrate a special occasion or anything. And this figure is a representation of STARSCREAM as he appeared in Transformers Cybertron, also known as Galaxy Force if you're basic. One of my favorite designs for the character, and those promotional images do look pretty promising. I mean, it's better than whatever the hell this is supposed to be. So why don't we just open this box up and BANG! Here is STARSCREAM in his robot mode, and oh, is he such a looker. Minor assembly is required out of the box, by the way, just letting you all know. Technically, these wing pieces can be pegged into anywhere in the figure that has a 5mm port, but ugh, why would you do that? And speaking of pegging, STARSCREAM comes with a couple of accessories that you can also peg into his hands, including this gun, nicely cast in purple plastic and looks great in his hands. But let's be honest here, this gun is pretty much nothing compared to his null rays, which can either go on his shoulders or on his forearms. But hang on, something is missing here. And I don't think it's the hinge joint at the wingtips. Of course, I'm talking about if we bring out this included Cyberplanet key and plug it into his back, we can pretend that that will display these swords out of his null rays. They look just a little too small for my taste, but I still think they're cool. And the Cyberplanet key itself is cast in mere purple plastic, no paint here. I'm glad that this piece of MacGuffin here is included. And for an added touch, you can also plug it on his blaster. Lovely. And that could also be the word that I used to describe this robot mode, at least aesthetically, because wow! Speaking purely from a visual standpoint, this figure is an excellent spitting image of that Cybertron design. The sculpting is pretty much on point. He's slender yet gives a commanding feeling. That remains true with this head sculpt, which, while his face lacks emotion, they definitely got the point across. This is right on the money. Now deco-wise, he's a little more barren than I'd like. It still looks good, but if that's something that really bothers you, then Toy Hacks has got you covered on that. The overall look of this guy reminds me a lot of Galaxy Meteor back in the day, just being brought down to the chug scale. And speaking of Galaxy Meteor, Joby Lahong's review on that figure is what inspired me to name my channel. Specifically this moment right here.
Screaming Star, Screaming Star, Screaming Star.
Now you see why I picked this figure for the special occasion that you all probably already know about at this point. But getting back on topic, sure, this figure is an absolute visual spectacle, but as a toy that you're supposed to manhandle. Oh. Well, that's disappointing. This is hands down the loosest modern Transformers figure I've handled. Barely anything here stays in place if I shake him around. And even on a normal play session, he gets annoying to handle. I sincerely hope for this to be a mere QC issue on my copy and not a widespread build quality issue. But sadly, this aspect of the figure impedes on what could have been an easy 10 out of 10 for me. Yes, I'm disappointed, but does that hinder the posability in any way? Well, not by much, because his ball joint at the head functions just fine. Can't look up too far, which is unbecoming of a seeker figure. But ah well. 360 at the shoulders, they move out, and the shoulder pauldrons move out of the way to accommodate it. Nice touch. Butterfly joint, not for the transformation, highly appreciated. Double jointed elbows, wrist swivels, and guess what? A freaking waist swivel. I know it's pretty much standard POA at this point, but for this design, it's a damn miracle. Hips can get forward that far, back that far. He can do the splits. Thigh swivel, single knee that bends in a lot. Ankles move down, they can move up. And finally, a lovely ankle pivot. Ah, these wings should be self-explanatory. So you can clearly tell that they designed this figure in such a way that prioritizes its play aspect. This feels like a work of passion. Shame about those loose joints though. Ah well, at least it's not Kingdom Blaster. But hey, despite these joints, I'm sure he can still pull off some pretty sick poses in this Strike a Pose segment. can probably tell the robot mode has a lot of good things going for it. But sadly, my particular copy hates that notion and tries its hardest to make me dislike this thing, which thankfully I don't. But let's put that thought in the back burner for now and get into some size comparisons. For some size comparisons, here's STARSCREAM next to his Voyager Wavemate, Silverbolt. The other Cybertronian STARSCREAM released this year, the Gamer Edition STARSCREAM, which because of his solidity, I might actually like this better than the Cybertron figure. What? That's a bit unfair. Both of these figures are amazing in their own ways, and I can definitely appreciate both of them for what they are. Anyways, comparing him to a regular 6-inch scale figure, we have the Marvel Legends Mr. Knight. And finally, the Transformers Siege STARSCREAM, a toy that's very near and dear to my heart and is a part of why STARSCREAM is such a beloved character of mine. And coincidentally, this figure did appear in my very first review, so there's that. And both of these figures look amazing. After a categorically good robot mode that just falls slightly short in my eyes, how does the transformation and the alt mode fare? While the engineering itself is really clever and should make for a fun transformation in theory, due to my copy's poor tolerances, the transformation is kind of a chore. But hey, at least we're left with this banger of a jet mode. I've always loved this Cybertronian jet design, and I think this figure captured the essence of this design excellently. It's basically what the robot mode was trying to achieve, without having the feeling of wet noodles running down your hands. It's just a sleek, stylish jet mode with great mechanical details and damn fine solidity. You can flail this thing around and it'll hold together very well. Except maybe for this. Can't say the same about that robot mode though. And to top it off, you get some clever weapon storage options by way of these tabs under the tail fins or these tabs underneath the jet. Both options look lovely and you can still insert the Cyberplanet key in the same place as the robot mode. Their care and effort towards this release clearly shines in this mode. I mean, it did shine in the robot mode as well, but so before it sounds like I dislike this figure, I don't, trust me. Let's wrap it up with some size comparisons. Here he is next to Silverbolt, Gamer Edition STARSCREAM, Mr. Knight, and finally Siege STARSCREAM. Kind of similar alt modes between these two, but I definitely prefer the Cybertron design. But either way, I do think that these two are some of the best STARSCREAM representations that we've gotten in toy form recently. And that concludes my review for the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class Cybertron Universe STARSCREAM. This is a figure in which I can sense passion. There are a lot of minor tweaks here that make it truly seem like they care. I really do think this is an excellent figure and I highly recommend it to anyone who appreciates good engineering on a figure. Or if you're just a Galaxy Force or STARSCREAM fan, of course, like me. However, my particular copy seems to disagree with me on every turn. It's a release that I sincerely appreciate, but ultimately don't love. You can blame my copy for it. That is, in case the looseness here is indeed a QC issue and not a build quality issue. Because if that's the case, then bye-bye STARSCREAM. As it stands, I really like this figure, but I am slightly underwhelmed. And before I end this probably clusterfuck of a video, allow me to just go off script here. 2 years ago today, or yesterday, or I don't really know when this video is gonna come out, I uploaded my first ever action figure review on YouTube. And as you may or may not have guessed, this review was published to coincide with that. My whole history about the name of my channel and this character, I think this figure came out at a perfect time for me to review him. And yes, as you also may or may not have guessed, this entire video is pretty much meant to be a tribute to Jobby, and I guess I also put a little bit of reference here and there for other toy reviewers as well. Bottom line is, I want to thank you guys so much for keeping the lights on. 2 years? I never would have expected that, honestly. If it wasn't for you guys, if it wasn't for my lovely parents, if it wasn't for everyone who helped me doing this, thing that I do right now, I wouldn't have gotten this far. And I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, this is another reason why I'm doing this video in this style, not just because I want to tribute Jobby, but so that we can also talk eye to eye. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free to leave a like if you've enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe, and share this video with a friend if you would like. And I don't know, maybe comment something nice. And of course, as always, hopefully I will see you guys next time. Next review is one that I've been dying to do for quite a while now, because you all need to see the full potential of what a non-transforming Transformer can do. Until next time, Prime!